What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pots Up Podcast. My name is Travis. We are back with another midweek episode. This week, we are doing a little different, a break from the Calcio and Heralded Legends kind of midweek episode that we a lot of times do. This week, we are coming with a special Matchday Experience episode from the San Siro, kind of giving you guys a rundown of what my experience was like as an American, as an English speaking person in Milan and in the San Siro Stadium for a game. Absolutely great experience. If you're an Inter fan, if you're a fan of soccer, if you're a fan of anything, fan of football, sorry, American. If you're a fan of football, it was an absolutely great all around experience. And I got a little bit of a different experience as well, luckily, thanks to being part of Inter Club Ohio. If Inter Club Ohio people that maybe watch or whatever, shout outs to you guys as well. I joined this year and I'm part of the Inter Club Ohio. Really good community of people. Hopefully going to Cleveland in May to watch a match up there at maybe Toloi or Totally, the Little Italy Tavern in Cleveland. So yeah, absolutely loved Milan. We got in there. The train station is beautiful. It's hectic. It's big, but it's an absolutely beautiful train station. And the one good thing about Milano that was better than any other city that we went to while we were in Italy for 2 weeks, Milano Metro was very reliable, felt very safe, and was a very good resource of getting around the city. We dropped our bags off at Ki Bag in the Centrale station and had it there for a few hours. So we hopped on, got the 3 day metro pass, hopped on a metro to Birelia Lambrette, I think is how it's pronounced, the Lambrette Brewery there on kind of like the east side of Centrale, and great lunch. The food was all right. The beer was good. The beer was definitely the star of the show there, not the food. I think I just ordered French fries because I was just like in a daze. We didn't have time to get coffee that morning because we were late to the train station in Verona. So just kind of in a daze, needed a few beers. Milano, when you are there, it's overwhelming with the graffiti. If you're not used to that, street art everywhere, especially on the outskirts, not more so north the Duomo, but the outskirts of town, graffiti everywhere. And yeah, it was a little overwhelming at first. So getting a couple beers, getting the metro, back to the train station, getting our bags, and dropping our stuff off felt good there. We were staying in the Navili region, which is kind of like a canal region to the southern part of the Duomo. Really beautiful part of the city, but again, a lot of graffiti everywhere. Took a little time getting used to, but the canal area is really cool. From my Inter experience, so that was just a little bit about Milano. If you have any more questions about if you want to go to Milan or kind of where I would recommend, even though I was only there for 3 days, where I would recommend eating and avoiding or where we went, kind of stuff like that, a little itinerary, I can send that to you or whatever. Just comment, email, potsapodcast@gmail. I would say my first experience, though, if we're talking strictly Inter, the second day, we really had a free day that day. So me and my wife and my best friend went down to the Inter store over near the Duomo and got to walk in the 2 floors. It's kind of near the Galleria there. And it was just a cool experience. 2 stories, went downstairs to get a jersey customized, got a away kit or a third kit that is not like the expensive one. I wanted one that I can wear. I haven't bought one that I actually wear in a while. I usually buy the expensive ones and keep the tags on and don't wear them. This one, I wanted one I could wear, and I thought, let's get Francesco Acerbi, one of the best center backs in the past couple years. Just a very, who hasn't he pocketed? Just a very consistent player for us. Older. It seems like he really loves Inter. He always freaking dies on the pitch. It seems like very old school Italian. So I was like, I want to get Acerbi. I want his jersey. Had that great thought, but little did I know, I have a buddy, shout outs to Andrew, that is Brazilian, not Brazilian. He's engaged to a Brazilian. She is from Rio, Nova Friburgo area, I think is how you pronounce it, just outside of Rio de Janeiro. And he's been several times. He's a huge Flamingo fan down in Rio. And He gave me the weirdest request, maybe of all time, and I'm going to show you guys what it is real quick. Here we are. A 96 new home kit this year. Gabi goal, for those who can't see it. 96 Gabi goal. Uh, and the reaction I got when I asked for that, the woman who was at the cash register, I think I led with that I wanted the Acerbi one done first. And then gave her this one, and she said, "What do you want on this one?" And I said, 96 Gabigol. And she kind of like for a second was like still doing it. And then she looked at me and she was like, Gabigol? And then she looked at the guy who was pressing the jerseys behind her and she asked in Italian, can we do Gabigol 96? And he was like, no. And then he kind of like looked back at me and he was like, yeah, I mean, we can do that, I guess. And after like a couple minutes of it simmering, he found it funny as well. I was like, look, I'm so sorry. This is super embarrassing for me to ask. I didn't want to do this, but my buddy's paying for it. I will take the embarrassment. He started calling the worker, telling everyone, all the other workers that were down there, hey, look what jersey I'm making. What should I do? Blah, 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 blah. He was like calling up to the first floor too to tell them somebody asked for a home kit Gabby goal 96. And yeah, it was really embarrassing. Everyone was laughing. What I think is more embarrassing though is there was somebody after me that literally came up with the expensive away kit and got Teremi. So which one is more embarrassing to you, Gabby Goal or Teremi? Uh, but yeah, that was a fun experience going into the Inter store. It was the first time I actually got to meet listener in my group message and has become now a really good friend, Vince Mazzola. His trip to Italy coincided with mine. He went a couple days to Palermo, where his Mazzola family is from, and then he came and joined us in Milan for the match. Shout out to you, Vince. Got to meet up with him there. He ended up getting a jersey as well. He got a Di Marco. The Inter store was very cool. There's a few around the Duomo area. That's where they are. They're near Milan stores too, Milano stores. And yeah, I would recommend going to the Inter store. Very nice, very good experience. And yeah, but I thought that was funny. I'd share that with you guys about the Gabigol story. But then let's get into what it's like going to the San Siro. Where we were staying in Navili, I think we had to get on the green train, take it a few steps or a few stops over, and then get on the purple train, which is the train that takes you all the way out to San Siro. When we got off of the green train, getting onto the purple train, the first train was slam packed. We didn't make that one. But then the second one, which came a couple minutes later, very easy to get onto, not slam packed. I think it was like 8 stops from whatever disconnection that was there to get over to San Siro. There's 2 San Siro stops. We got off at the Ipidromo. Uh, then there's the Stadio stop that's after that one. Real easy, like I said, to get on the metro. If it's packed the first one, wait a second. There was another one coming at all times. The Milan metros, at least the underground, were only like 30 seconds late to a minute late the entire time we were there. So yeah, I would recommend going metro. But pre-match going in, I had a lot of people tell me, you only need to get there an hour before. It's not like American stuff where nobody's tailgating, which is true, but I would say get there 2 hours before. The amount of vendors that were out there, how busy it was in the concourse before you have to go through the gates, and then just how massive the San Siro is. It's a whole lot to see. There's vendors right when you get off the train stop. Those maybe are a little more scammy, I would say. I think we paid a little more for beers there, or spritz, and this game day scarf that I was able to pick up. It doesn't like feel like a legit one. It's kind of more of a knockoff. But I said, what the hell? It's got the game I went to in Milan, the stadio, the date, who they played. Had to get it. Figured why not. This one was 15 euro. So I think I didn't check this closer ones to the stadium, but there's a lot of vendors out there. You can get sandwiches, paninos, bunch of different food, pizza, beer, spritz, bunch of different stuff. I want to even say I saw liquor, like just in like airplane bottles, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. There's merchandise stuff. I think Inter Store has an official like 10 out there. So yeah, I would say get there 2 hours early, and that gives you enough time because the gates fill up fast too. I was able to go into the Interclub gate next to gate 5. Still was pretty busy to get in. It's kind of confusing as to what lines to get in, especially 30, 40 minutes before kickoff. But yeah, I would say maybe start wandering in. Get your beer in an hour before, two if you like. Get some food in before, especially if it's a later kick. Ours was at 6 p.m. There's time in Italy, so yeah, get there 2 hours before, enjoy it, and then kind of just keep an eye on the gates. I think our tickets had I could go in gate 5, 6, or 9, but with my experience that I got to have, which I'm about to talk about, I had to go into gate 5, and yeah, it was filled up pretty quickly and kind of tough to tell. So give yourself some times, get there. No tailgating, but there's still a lot of people out drinking, having a good time, smoking cigarettes, all the good stuff. So I would recommend getting there pretty early. And then, yeah, getting into the match. So I can't really talk about how it was to find the seats really from this point because I got to go through a special experience thanks to me being an Interclub member. I saw that this was a special Interclub match, so I messaged our president at Interclub Ohio to see what it was, and they got me in touch with Davide La Rocca, who shout outs to Davide. He was awesome. He was one of the best people I interacted with the whole trip as far as like kind of just, Italian people, I'm not going to say are mean, completely super nice people, but they're very abrupt and blunt. And you shouldn't take that as wrong. It took me a while to warm up to it. Being from the South, our culture is very fake, but it's very being polite. Try to at least come off as polite, even if you're fake about it. Whereas theirs, they're very blunt up front. But Davide La Rocca was really awesome. I walk up, he's calling names after I go through the gate, and I was able to luckily get to be a part of this experience. Not really sure, I haven't looked up what that means, but it was the Interclub experience and got this lanyard, got a bib, and I was fortunate enough to be able to walk in at the bottom of the stadium straight to the pitch side with all the glass around it. Walked in on the Udinese side warming up, but got to walk down below where all the fans were hanging on the banisters behind the away goal and see all the flags waving and everything. And my experience was I got to go out before the match right next to the pitch with, I think it was like 11 other Interclub members, all from Italy, minus I got to meet one guy from Interclub Albania. Shout out to Interclub Albania. He spoke English. But yeah, I was able to stand pitch side for about 20 minutes pre-match and then walk out right next to the pitch and wave a flag for about 5 minutes, get official pictures from Interclub. And again, shout out to Davide La Rocca. He said everything in Italian, but made sure to bring me over to tell me what he said in English. Very nice, awesome guy. I think he's the Interclub like organizer of everything. Uh, Put me over in my position where I was to wave the flag and just pointed up and said, and here is the Curva Nord. And yeah, I was like right in front of the Curva, waving the flag pre-match. It was pretty freaking awesome being there right on the pitch, right where the match goes. Davide, we after that go over, put our flags down, and Davide took me up and told me where to go for my seat. Complete class act of a person. It was a very awesome experience. I'll never be able to live up to something like that again as far as Inter goes, probably minus meeting Zanetti or Mourinho or someone like that, someone of my idols from Inter, like Ronaldo phenomenon. But that experience was absolutely incredible. I wouldn't say I definitely didn't like tear up or anything, but was definitely emotional, brought to emotions. I mean, this is something 20, 25 years in the waiting, the making for me. Inter has been a club that I've loved, for as long as I've loved Duke basketball and, Minnesota Vikings football. But this always felt like it was something I was never going to be able to do, go to Italy and go to the San Siro. My family, I don't think my mom or dad has gone overseas. My sister has, my older sister. So to be able to go overseas in the first place was big for me. And then go to a game at the Giuseppe Meazza was just absolutely incredible. And to be able to get this experience, it was just an emotional thing altogether, and just a great overall experience that I will never take for granted. Made even better by Davide with all the help that he gave me, and putting me in the right spot, and taking the time to be kind to an American out there, and everything. I was even there behind in the first minute. I was walking behind the goal. I don't know. We need to go back through and see if you could see me, maybe. But I was right behind the goal pretty much when Hakan shot the shot in the first minute. I thought it went in. I was like going over and celebrating with Davide, and he was like, "No, it didn't go in," and slightly embarrassing, but got to see that, and then went up. And another thing, like I said, I always heard an hour before game. Would disagree with that. Another thing I disagree that I had heard there was no alcohol sales in the stadium, and I had heard that the bathrooms were very hard to find, limited, and very disgusting. I didn't have a problem at all. There's beer vendors walking around selling beer throughout the whole match. I don't remember. I want to say it was maybe €6 for a beer, pretty fairly priced, and actually really fairly priced over what we're used to here in the States. And the bathrooms, when I did go towards the second half, I think is when I finally went. Uh, Kind of tough to see which is male and which is female. I don't think eventually it even mattered. I think male and female were going into the stalls together towards the end because screw it, who cares? And they were at like every exit. Granted, I was sitting in the Z section, the red section, Rosso, down kind of in the corner side where the players warm up for Inter. So I was watching Barella and all of them warm up. Great seats, I would say. We sat 5 or 6 rows up because I knew the banister down there. So another kind of recommendation, the banister, if you're on that Rosso side, is there. So, you might be blocked if you sit in the first row. I would sit, 5, 6 rows back at the least. The only thing is we were on the corner flag. In the middle would have been cool. Those seats are a little more expensive, more expensive. But yeah, bathrooms, beer was there to find. They had spreets that they were selling too in there, some snacks. So yeah, I don't know why I'd heard that, but I wouldn't say as an American I felt almost just like a football NFL match. The one difference though was the curva. Um, First 20 minutes, it was quiet, eerily quiet, I guess I would say. Maybe not eerily quiet, but the rest of the stadium was buzzing, but the Curva was definitely quiet. Whenever I was waving the flag pre-match, I saw that a lot of people put the Inter logo in front of their face. I don't know if that was some sort of protest or not, but I heard that there was, my buddy Vince, he said that there was a protest that was going to go for the first 20 minutes of the match. And I think that was extremely accurate. I think they were protesting ticket prices, the Curva in particular. And man, I tell you, after that 20 minutes, though, it was incredible. Sitting there and watching the Curva, the Ultras stand up there chanting, hearing the caller before and then hearing the chants after. eh, Goosebumps. It was absolutely incredible. The two people that came with me and my wife, and then Vince, my best friend, his fiance, their big experiences, mainly, college football games for them and NFL games. So hearing the curva there was awesome for them. They both were like, what is that, when the 20th minute came on? And then getting able to jump with the curva at some of the cheers, it was absolutely, watching it on TV doesn't do it justice. Just moving. I was like struggling from going, I wanted to watch the match, to I'm wanting to watch the curva, to I'm wanting to watch the match, really trying to juggle all of that. It was really, really a neat experience. And then I got extremely lucky. I got a classic Forza Inter performance there. It was one that I I think maybe got my friends to even like the Inter experience even more. They were like, "Hell yeah, we're fans now. This was incredible," because that second half, Inter go up 2 goals. We're cruising. They got to experience the 2 goal celebrations, hugging people you don't even know around you, having fun, jumping up and down. Felt like we were flying. My buddy even was like, well, hopefully we get a few more of these coming down this way because they'll be in front of us. And it felt like that. And then the second half with that goal from Udinese, the crowd got like silent, completely silent. And it was like, oof, this is not going good. And then it just got even crazier. If that Udinese had some big chances, there was Kifi missing calls, Inzaghi getting sent off. At one point, there was a fan on the row below the curva. They were right behind the goal that was getting restrained by like 6 security officers out of the stadium. There was a fan in the middle section, the Rosso section where we were, getting asked pretty handedly to sit down in his seat. It was absolute chaos. The guy in front of me was standing on like the chair in front of him, going absolutely crazy. Me and Vince, because we're big Inter fans, are freaking screaming at Kifi. When Inzaghi got that red card, oh my God, it was deafening. People are running down to the banisters screaming, going crazy. The curva's going crazy. Even my friends were going crazy. Everyone is going insane. And it was just an awesome experience. Forza Inter to the fullest. After the match, I had to take my friend's vape and hit it a few times because I needed to cool down. I was sweating. Everybody in there was during stoppage time too. Another thing, Americans, you might want to, if you want to invest in a stopwatch. I knew this going in. I don't think we do it here either at MLS stadiums, but once that time hits 90, they don't show you can watch and they'll announce it that he's added. I think in this match it was 6 minutes, but they don't show the 6 minutes on a clock anywhere. So I started my stopwatch. The guy in front of me, I'd shown him because about 30 seconds in, he's whistling, trying to get him to call the match, and he was looking around, and he was asking, and I showed him I had it started. So every like minute after that, he was grabbing my hand, like wanting to look at it. It was absolute chaos. Really just an incredible experience. Luckily, my first experience, Inter got all 3 points. Also, shout out to Marko Arnautovic. Everybody who listens knows I'm a huge Arnautovic supporter. Our Father, who art in heaven, Lord Arnautovic, be thy name. He is showing up and showed up for me going there. Almost made me feel bad for getting the Acerbi jersey instead of Arnautovic. Who knows? If he stays one more year, maybe another purchase will be in the works for an Arnautovic jersey. But shout outs to him for getting the goal. Let's see what else, if we have anything else. Just the post-match experience, I guess we could talk about too. So we left wanting to take the metro the way we came back. So we walked to the Iprodromo stopped and got a couple beers after match just to kind of chill out and relax and feel the vibe. The Udinese fans had gotten asked to stay behind, so we kind of wanted to see that whole experience of them like getting escorted out because it was a tense match. And we had a couple beers. There are a couple Porta Johns on the outskirts too of the stadium, right near those vendors. So if you want to hang out and have a couple beers, get a couple pizzas, and whatever, there is bathrooms. But we walked to the Ipodromo stop and was expecting to get on, and they were completely sealed shut. And then we decided to run the orange tram line, the above ground metro, get on, I forget what number it was, and try and just ride that back towards Navili because that's where we were staying. And we knew there'd be some food. We waited for like 15 minutes, what it seemed like after that. Never really figured out why. There was a bunch of fans coming, being like pissed off that the subway or the metro was sealed off and was closed and nobody was able to go down. I'm not sure if the Stadio one was the further stop was sealed off. I kind of wanted to go to that and check, but I had my friends. There was the orange tram station that was right there that maybe they wanted to do, and just in case that one was closed as well. So we stood there. That one we waited for like 10-15 minutes, it felt like. Finally got on, was slam packed. And that was kind of the only bad experience, I guess, of the whole day, was just that not knowing why the Purple Metro. I'd read something that if it's an intense game, maybe they shut the Metro. If it's overcrowded, they shut the Metro. But there was no signs or anything like that to explain. I think getting out of that Ipodromo stop too was like the elevator was out of service, or maybe it was the escalator and we could only go up elevator. I wouldn't recommend getting off at the Ipodromo stop, but yeah, that was a weird experience, and we didn't get back until late. We ended up having to call an Uber because the above ground metro, that one was the one we had like the cable car one. We didn't have great luck, it seemed like, with that one. But yeah, that was my whole game day experience. I rambled a little bit just because I get excited now talking about it, but it was just an overall great experience. as an American, as an English speaker, I could see where it would be difficult, but we have hands, 1, 2, 3, like where's this gate? That you have your ticket in front of you. People will point, and like if you just learn, I don't know hardly any Italian. Not going to claim that at all, but I don't know like that much Italian, but if you just learn the basics, you can get around that stadium pretty easily. Get your beers before a game, get there 2 hours, like I said. There's bathrooms. And if you're sitting at the lower levels, I don't know about the upper levels if they sell beer up there, but down in the lower levels, there are definitely beer vendors going around and just soak up the experience. It's incredible. It was absolutely, I can't wait to go back. When the game was over, I was itching to go back to another Inter match, and I still am. That'll be anytime I'm in Italy or around Italy. I'm definitely going to stave time for a 1 day trip to Milano to watch an Inter match. It's just an experience you'll never get back as an Inter fan. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, or want to know more, want to know my itinerary, want to know where we stayed, where we ate, anything like that, comment. I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit on this one, but I get excited now talking about it. Even though it's only been a week, I still get excited thinking about that experience and the whole Inter experience in Milano. I think Milano is a great city. A lot of people said it's not going in, that you only need a day or two. We spent 3 days there, never felt bored. We only went to like 2 or 3 different areas too, and it seems like the city's got way more to offer. And I would say Milano was a great city, one of my favorites in our trip. So appreciate it, guys. Comment anything you want. Please like, subscribe. And yeah, always Forza Inter. Let's win the Scudetto, boys. Come on.